Hey there, it's Andy with Wild World of Beer, and today we are tasting some beers from Texas. Special thank you to Tony from Collective Brewing Project for sending us these lovely beers. First up, we have a Half A Bison from Live Oak. Half A Bison is a wheat beer. It's a German style beer, and it should have some nice banana clove esters. Those are coming from the yeast that's used in a Half A Bison. This beer's got a nice fluffy head. It's obviously very well carbonated. It's got excellent clarity for a wheat beer. Oftentimes these are very cloudy. Taking a smell, I'm definitely getting a light banana, more of a clove ester on this beer. And in this one, the banana is in the flavor for sure. There's also a nice sort of bready, crackery flavor coming from the malt. Slightly, a little bit of a sweet finish. It's got a medium body, and overall, it's just a really refreshing beer. This clocks in at 5.3% ABV. I'd say the bitterness is pretty low. It's probably in the mid-20s, although I don't see anything on the can here about that. That's a nice beer. I think I might have a little more. Once again, that is the Live Oak Half A Bison. Moving right along, our second beer from Texas is the Black Thunder from Austin Beer Works. Actually, before we move on to the beer, I also want to mention Austin Beer Works does a crazy promotion with their Peacemaker. They actually do a 99 beer pack. If you've ever seen this on the internet, it's a large case of beer. But the Black Thunder is actually a Schwarz beer. Schwarz in German actually means black. So this is going to be a dark lager. Let's see, as we pour this in here. Once again, we've got a really nice head. It's obviously not black like a stout. It's because it's a lager. It's still got some good clarity. It's almost even got some little ruby hues to the color. The head on it is just, a nice creamy tan color. Giving it a smell, you can definitely smell the caramel and just like a little bit of a roasted malt flavor to it. There's almost no hop aroma to this beer, which was pretty appropriate for the style. Wow, giving that a taste, I mean, it's a very rich beer. I mean, this is, when a lot of people think a lager, you're thinking something light, doesn't have a lot of flavor. That's not this beer at all. This has got a ton of flavor to it. The balance is definitely on the malt side in this beer, but it does still have some nice bitterness so that it doesn't finish sweet. It really actually cleans up in the aftertaste. Yeah, that's another good beer from Texas. Congratulations, guys. That's the Black Thunder from Austin Beer Works. All right, our next beer from Texas is the Daybreak 4-grain breakfast beer. This comes from Martin Brewing Company in Fort Worth, Texas. They describe this beer as a breakfast cereal. So I'm kind of excited to see what this tastes like. I'm not sure if it really fits into any particular beer style. It's made with 4 different grains. There's barley, wheats, oats, and rye, I believe. And then they ferment this beer very dry, they say, but then they go back and they add some milk sugar, which is unfermentable by the yeast, and also a little bit of honey, so it gives it like a unique sweetness. Let's see if this actually tastes like breakfast cereal. Well, I definitely get a little bit of the honey on the nose. That definitely comes through. I'm sure by adding that at the end, you kind of preserve those very delicate aromatics. There's not much in the hop aroma, so I'm thinking this is going to be a very malt balanced beer. Wow. I mean, you definitely get, this is definitely a sweet beer. It's not something you're probably gonna pack away like 4 of these, because I think it might get just a tiny bit cloying, but I mean, it's definitely unique. I have not tasted another beer like this. It's a little bit cloudy, but I think that's okay for the style. The head on this beer kind of dissipated fairly quickly though. Wow, that is a unique beer. I don't think I've ever tasted anything like that. So that is the Daybreak 4-grain breakfast beer. All right, moving on from our breakfast beer, we're now on to Liberty Lunch. This is an IPA from Independence Brewing Company. They're based out of Austin. This is a 5.5% ABV IPA, which I actually have to admit, I like the IPAs that are in that lower range. I'm not a huge fan of always bumping up the IPA to 6 to 7, and you kind of blur the line between what a double IPA is and a regular IPA. So this is a very pretty beer. It's got good clarity. It's just got a little bit darker than a golden color, and it's got a nice fluffy white head. All right, so taking a whiff of that aroma, you definitely get the hops up front. You know, I took a look. It said these guys are using Citra, Mosaic, and Lemon Drop hops in their beer. Once again, this beer is definitely balanced to the hops, but it's definitely got like a nice little bit of sweetness. I think they put maybe a little bit of Munich malt in there to balance out those hops and give it sort of a more well-rounded flavor. Yeah, it's definitely a very crushable IPA. This is not one of those IPAs where you have one of them and you're like, well, now I got to move on to something else. I mean, I think you can definitely drink a couple of these. So that is the Liberty Lunch IPA. Thank you again to Tony from Collective Brewing Project for sending us these lovely Texas beers. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have a brewery and you're interested in having us review your beers, check out the info below and get in contact with us. Cheers!